I wasn't there. You weren't there to speak on that. What about your freaking generation? What the y'all doing? And
you just did.
Why are you so angry about it?
Why you so
Why are you so angry about it?
In the older generation, that's what I'm afraid about.
Why are you older women having all the answers but being divorced? Being part of baby mama culture, being a part of all of the problems that they say that the younger generation are, as if they have all the answers, is diabolical. It's crazy. It's crazy.
That's a lie. Most of us hold ourselves accountable. I've always held myself accountable for my past, so we can cut that out right there.
I don't think that marriage should be considered outdated at all. We've been married for years and years and years. And we should continue to be married for years and years to come. So I don't really care what hoes are talking about, if they trying to get with men or not. You know, I don't want marriage. I want his money. Who cares about that? Because that's not going to be anything longevity at all. But it still needs to be pushed marriage, regardless if they want to hear it or not. Eventually, they will, want this marriage because of their outcome, right? So as they get older, they're going to see, okay, well, this is not the life that I actually really want, because they're going to be pretty miserable being, by themselves, or even hanging with their friends. They thinking that being with their friends forever. I got my best friend. When we all know that best friends don't last forever. Hell, friendships don't even last forever.
Well, they die.
So, and I understand people keep talking about, oh, we could get a divorce. Yeah, but you could fix that. Because there's a lot of situations where people got divorced and they should have never been divorced, right? There's people that divorce for cheating, right? Because someone got someone pregnant, right? That's acceptable. Okay, cool. But there's people divorcing over the silliest fucking reasons. And it's stupid as hell to me. Like, I even come from a family of divorce. If I tell you why my parents got divorced, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, that shouldn't even be a statistic, but it is, right? So I think we all need to just work better and working on ourselves and working on our skill sets, because the same way that we look at, let me have qualifications for this job that I want. Okay, well, there's qualifications for the marriage that you want, and nobody's actually having them. They're just getting together for necessity or whatever, or they want to have a kid, or, I hear women saying, oh, he has nice hair, he has nice eyes, I need to have a child with that man. And then they don't want to look like a hoe, so they get married to him. Or they want to have a big ass wedding and have, fancy cars or whatever the case is, but they could do that better with another person. They getting married for the wrong reason. So I think we just need to help them understand that's not what marriage is about. It's not about those things. So
yeah, and that sounds really nice, but it's just never going to happen. It doesn't. It won't, because here's the thing. If women really wanted to be married, we'd be virgins on our wedding night. And so if she left the first boyfriend for the husband or whatever, it's like, what's going to stop her from leaving for the next one?
Yeah,
Nothing.
but Pearl, I understand what you're saying. All of us should be virgins before we get married, but you already know that's not being taught. That doesn't mean that. That does not mean that people cannot get married.
Oh, people no, it's taught.
It's
taught.
They're teaching get birth control, have a condom. Why is that even available? We know for money, right? Consumers, cool. Yeah. But at the same time, this is what they're giving to women. Yeah. So they're going to say, oh, yeah, I can have sex. Cool. I'm going to do both.
I don't like that line of that thought process, because if we constantly blame the school system and we say women are doing this because we're taught it, it really takes accountability off of the women. If you weren't a virgin on your wedding day, you did it because you wanted to throw it back. You know what I mean? Like, you did it because you wanted to have sex. Like, let's cut the bullshit. It wasn't because they gave you. No, it wasn't because they gave you condoms at school. It was women have sex. No, come on. Like, now you're gonna blame the teachers. You're an adult. Be an adult.
I didn't say that was all of the reason. I'm saying that contributes to it. So obviously it starts with the household. But what household that is that parents are teaching their kids to not have sex?
I came from a Catholic school, so they did teach us not to have sex, and everyone.
I was in a Catholic school as well.
Yeah, so they so they throw it back anyway. It doesn't matter if they teach them. Come on. What I would say, the difference is, I knew kids that decided to wait till they were I knew people that waited till they were married and they were not raised religious, but that woman had the character. It wasn't the school's fault. It wasn't. If a woman wants to do it, she'll do it. But most women don't.
Women are born hoes.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, that's what we've shown is when women get the freedom to be anything.
I don't
We
think
fight
it's the
to
word
we
isn't
fight to be
hoes. The
we
word
fight to be
is like
whores.
everybody wants
Yeah.
everybody desires
wants to have
sex.
sex.
But you
That's
just
what
Everybody
I
wants to
know.
have sex.
Yeah,
Everybody's
yeah.
sexual.
They're not both.
Why can't it be
But
hoes?
the
Why
word,
y'all
you just
triggered
said
by
the key
hoes? Why
word.
you can't just call a spade a spade?
I mean, look
Because
at
because when I
you're
think of
not
the
a
word
hoe.
hoe,
Hold on.
it requires multiple partners, like excessive
Who
Come on
hears?
now.
promiscuity.
But who
I
hears
think
of
a
one
girl that has a
partner?
boyfriend at like 17 and like had sex with them and like stayed with them for like some years and that was her only sexual partner and then she got like one more boyfriend at like 22. That's not a hoe. We're not going to just say that because she desired
A woman
sex
has
that
sex,
that's
she
a
a hoe.
hoe.
But
That's not a
the
hoe.
key
Now,
word,
Over
Pearl
half of
said,
those
He
kids
had
Pearl said that
hormones like
women,
everybody else.
unrealistic talking about women in 2025
Pearl said
and
that
even
women
20
have
years before that.
freedom. We have freedom. That's the key word. Freedom,
Yeah,
right?
but can
We
we
have
be
freedom
honest
to
here?
do these things.
Yeah, can we be
That's the
honest though?
problem.
Most women aren't having sex with 2-3 guys. Like
Right.
that's
It's
not
more
really
like
normal.
I
Yeah,
think the
so
number's like 50 for a
yeah,
20-year-old. I mean, they did the
yeah,
stat on
yeah.
that. It's like really high.
We don't know. Women will always lie about
50,
that. So
What's
there's
the
no.
stat for that, lady?
Could
Oh
be
come
20
on.
or
Oh come
30.
on.
I will
What's
say this.
Let's
I feel like even our grandparents
okay.
were
I'm
having sex
They
before they
were.
got married.
They
We
totally
just didn't
were.
know about that.
Yup.
They
Yup.
got married to somebody. You know what
They
I'm
just
saying?
were
Like
throwing it
they were
back.
even having sex.
If marriage was like 20, then they're throwing it back at 16, 14.
There
You know what
were
I
a
mean?
lot of people
Yeah, it's
in
just
They
earlier
were
generations
19,
that are
18,
literally
getting
their
yeah.
married, but
only
they were
reason
already
for
having
being
sex.
married is because they had to face the consequences of having sex.
Correct.
They got
Correct.
Yeah.
pregnant,
Yeah.
so then they got married. A
So then
Yup.
lot
they
of
got
people that
married.
we
Yup.
know in the older generation aren't
Come
married
on
because
now.
they were like, oh yeah, let's go
Yeah.
get married.
Not
They were
mine.
married because their parents forced them
Not,
into it because
not
they were
mine.
You
pregnant.
just
Well,
don't know
first
that
of all,
lady else. You
hold on,
don't know.
I
She
want
didn't
to
tell
debunk
you.
some myths because number one, with all this gray hair, I'm obviously older than everybody on the panel. They were not getting married as teenagers in high numbers back then. The average marriage back then was between 21 and 24. I have great uncles and great aunties who still alive, still married to the same person. They did not get married underage. Nobody had kids out of underage at all. My aunties was in their 20s after they were married. They got married to build a legacy. So it has nothing to do with it. That is a small percentage of people that we keep
That's your
on.
experience,
No,
lady else. And
that's
your
the
family might
stat.
be the small
That's
percentage
the
of people.
stat. If they were
Well,
never having
if
kids.
she was
My
there,
grandmother got married at
Hold on, y'all.
19.
Hold on. Let me finish.
What are you
Let
talking
me
about?
finish. They were never having babies as teenagers in high numbers. I'm
We
from
didn't
that
say in high
time. Hold
numbers.
on. I'm from that group. I had a kids as a teenager. It wasn't many of me, even in the Gen X age. We weren't having kids as teenagers in high numbers. We always made a small percentage, and they weren't getting married in high numbers back then under the age of like 21. It was a small, you can go look it up. I don't care how you do the stat, but it did not happen in high numbers. Okay, so when you put out something, you're talking about a small percentage of people that did that, but you're trying to make it seem like all those people just getting married and having sex. They were not getting together in
No,
in
we said they
that
was having
manner
sex
in
before
high
marriage, lady
numbers.
else.
So y'all
Which is
basically saying
correct.
that
We
women are
said
the
they
problem.
were having sex before marriage and they just got married. That's what we said. And Bougie was saying they usually got pregnant and needed to get married, and that's why a lot of them were in
They
marriage.
didn't even usually do
But
that. They got
can
married
you
first. They
contest
didn't
that
even
they
get
were
pregnant
already
first.
having sex? And that
There was a
wasn't so
smaller
crazy.
percentage of women who were doing that. It wasn't the majority of women were not getting married because they were pregnant.
No, were they having sex? That wasn't
not,
my question. I said, were they having sex? Because
they
the beginning of
probably
the
they were.
argument
It
was that
doesn't.
girls
Some
shouldn't
were
have
not.
sex.
Some were not. A majority of them were not. We gotta stop putting out false
A
narratives.
majority of
Okay,
what wasn't
you
having
weren't there.
sex.
I
Women.
wasn't there. You weren't there to speak on that. What about your freaking generation? What the fuck y'all doing? And
But you just did.
Why are you so angry about
Right?
it?
Why you so mad? You said you had babies. So y'all was
Why
having
are you
sex.
so angry about
Okay,
it?
yo,
in the
y'all was
older
having sex.
generation,
Y'all was
that's
getting
what
that.
I'm complaining about.
Why are
Y'all was
you
getting
so
that.
angry
The
about
difference
it
between
though?
your generation and our generation is
I'm
that
not
it's social
angry. I'm
media
trying to get my
and
point
everybody
across,
know
and
your
y'all keep
business.
over talking me.
I haven't overtalked you at all.
Okay, y'all not. Did I say you?
Like why did you
I
like
said
get so
y'all. Let it
defensive?
fly. Let
She
it
got so
fly.
bad.
well, I gotta look at
I'm not
incentives.
Lady, it's
mad.
okay.
I gotta look at incentives here, and I just think there's no incentive. No offense, and respectfully, there's no incentive for older women to be honest about hoeing.
There's no incentive. So like, why
At all.
honest? You
They
know?
love to make it seem like they're saints.
Yeah, like,
That's what I'm saying.
And they have all the answers. Older
But
women
Carl, that's
having
the
all the
point I was
answers, but
making,
being
like-
divorced, being part of baby mama culture, being a part of all of the problems that they say that the younger generation are, as if they have all the answers, is diabolical. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Oh, that's a lie. Most of us hold ourselves accountable. I've always held myself accountable for my past, so we can cut that fuckery out right there.
Accountability doesn't have anything to do with you made the mistake. No. Let me clarify my statement. I didn't say you weren't accountable. I didn't say you weren't accountable. I didn't say you weren't accountable, Lady O. I said you were a part of the failure. You're a part of baby mama culture. You're a divorcee. You are a part of the failure we're talking about. But you think that you have all the answers.
The being a divorcee does not mean I was a failure, sweetheart.
It means you failed. It means you failed. You're not his wife anymore. Now you're his baby mama. You're not his wife no more. Now you're his baby mama. That's it. Being an ex-wife don't make you special. It means you lost.
What are you talking about? I know
being an ex-wife doesn't make you special. It means you lost.
No, I did not.
You lost.
I'm a winner, baby. You're not on my level. You
lost.
Never will be.
You are not a wife no more. You lost. Lady Di's a wife. I'm a wife. Ty's a wife. You lost.
Who sleep with women. Baby, you've been a
you
wife for
pop
4
shit.
years, baby.
You pop shit, but you're not a wife no more. You're just a baby mama. That's crazy. That is crazy to me. A wife having a discussion with an ex-wife, and you're trying to tell me what it is and what it isn't. You lost. You lost. Why would I take advice from somebody that lost? The two women next to me could give me a lot more advice because they rolled the dice and won.
We get
you
it.
lost.
Okay, so let's go one at a time. We'll allow y'all to duke it out, but y'all gotta at least let each other speak one at a time.
That's so nice.
I just felt like somebody needed to say it because nobody ever tells this lady that she lost the game.
Laisha,
we can only hear one person at a time. We gotta make sure.
Never been with one. You ain't been married 10 years, baby. You only been married for 4.
Lady O.
Laisha, listen to me.
We can only hear one person at a time. Let's try and be respectful enough to get the whole point out. Whatever y'all say to each other is whatever y'all say, but at least let that person get that point out so we can move to the next person.